The council chamber floated above a planet no one had yet dared to conquer, its walls shimmering with light and thought patterns far beyond human comprehension. Representatives from hundreds of species had gathered, their forms as strange as their voices, each one confident in the superiority of their logic, their technology, and their power. And at the center of the debate, as always, was Earth, the pale blue world that had somehow survived every prediction of weakness. "We have agreed," one of the taller delegates announced, his translucent skin pulsing with color, "that Earth is inefficient, disorderly, and unworthy of independent sovereignty. Its resources are valuable. It must be brought under our control." Murmurs of assent spread like waves through the chamber, the majority of species nodding or vibrating in agreement. Even those who had once been neutral saw advantage in endorsing the proposal. One by one, humanity's allies were gone, replaced by opportunists who had judged Earth through the lens of profit, not potential. Earth's representative, a man named Adam, stood silent, his dark eyes scanning the chamber without fear. His voice was quiet when he finally spoke, yet every species heard him as clearly as if he had shouted. "You speak of control as if the universe belongs to you. You speak of efficiency as if life is a formula. You are wrong. You do not know humans." The council laughed, low and resonant, a sound that vibrated the walls. "Humans, you are insignificant. Your weapons are primitive, your minds are limited. Even your so-called unity is a weakness. Do not waste our time with threats you cannot enforce." Adam's lips pressed into a thin line. He could feel the weight of betrayal from every species, yet there was no hesitation in him. Humanity had anticipated this moment for decades. Plans had been drawn, technologies developed in secret, weapons designed for a war that others thought impossible. Earth would not fall. On the surface, the first wave arrived within hours. Swarms of automated ships descended through the atmosphere, their engines burning the clouds with unnatural light. Cities were targeted, strategic points struck with precision. Leaders of humanity had already evacuated, and the population followed protocols honed over years of preparation. It was not chaos that awaited the invaders, but organized, ruthless resistance. Yet the council had underestimated one factor. Humans were adaptable in ways that no algorithm could predict. When their cities were attacked, the people did not flee blindly. They fought not only with weapons but with ingenuity. Vehicles transformed into mobile fortresses. Drones repurposed alien technology. Entire factories converted to produce armaments faster than any species had thought possible. The first retaliation came from the oceans. Submersible craft, disguised as nothing more than ordinary vessels, emerged beneath alien fleets. Missiles and rail-based projectiles tore through the hulls, and within hours, communication with several leading species was lost. Panic rippled through the council networks. Earth was not responding according to their expectations. Adam observed the chaos from the chamber's communications hub, his eyes calm, calculating. "They think they control us," he said. "They believe the council speaks for the galaxy. They will learn that humans are not just inhabitants of Earth. We are the reckoning." As the first shockwaves of human retaliation reached the outer colonies, species that had once cheered for Earth's enslavement began to doubt. Reports came in. Planets in the outer rim destroyed fleets faster than they could react. Entire orbital stations vaporized in seconds. Humanity's arsenal was not limited to conventional weapons. Scientists had discovered ways to manipulate energy at scales previously thought unstable, to bend matter to destructive ends, and to strike with precision that made escape impossible. Yet it was not mere weaponry that spread fear. Humans targeted communications and logistics first, dismantling the networks that allowed species to coordinate. Entire bureaucracies collapsed overnight, leaving fleets adrift, unable to navigate or supply themselves. Humans were everywhere and nowhere, striking unpredictably, adapting strategies as fast as the council could devise them. One of the oldest species, with shells harder than diamonds and minds slow to anger but relentless when provoked, attempted diplomacy after suffering massive losses. "Stop this," they demanded. "You destroy without mercy. Accept our rule and we will grant you terms." Adam's response was swift, direct, and merciless. "Terms are meaningless when you enslave by force. Humans do not negotiate with tyranny. You wish to control us. We will not only resist, we will make history remember your folly." The retaliation escalated. Systems once loyal to the council were liberated. often destroyed in the process to prevent their use against humans again. Entire civilizations were erased, not for pleasure but for survival and demonstration. Humanity's fury was precise, terrifying in its efficiency, yet rooted in a principle alien to the Council. No species could claim dominion over another. Within weeks, whispers of rebellion spread among those who had supported the Council's vote. They had seen the outcome and understood that humanity was no ordinary species. Even those who had believed Earth's destruction inevitable now questioned whether they had underestimated the smallest blue planet in the void. The Council convened an emergency session, far more solemn than the previous gatherings. This human response was unexpected, one representative admitted. We believed our authority absolute. We were wrong. Adam's voice echoed through the chamber once more. Do you understand now? You endorsed tyranny. You thought weakness was universal. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity does not forgive those who choose control over respect. History will remember who you were and what you tried to do. In the outer colonies, fleets disintegrated under bombardment. Entire cities were reclaimed, often leaving nothing recognizable to their former inhabitants. The human forces advanced not for conquest but to ensure that no council could ever enforce submission again. Fear became the universal language. Species that had once ridiculed Earth now whispered its name with awe and terror. Amid the chaos, Adam looked at the transmissions of the council members. Some pleaded for mercy. Others plotted to flee to uncharted space. It mattered little. The message had been delivered, irrevocable and clear. Humanity would not be enslaved. Any attempt to control Earth would be met with consequences the universe could scarcely comprehend. And yet humans did not stop. Unlike the Council, which operated on pride and bureaucracy, humans acted with clarity of purpose. Strategic strikes continued until the remaining fleets surrendered. Some were spared, allowed to retreat with the understanding that Earth's protection was absolute. Others had pushed too far and vanished, leaving only traces of their former civilizations as warning. The aftermath was quiet. For the first time in centuries, humans did not celebrate. They rebuilt, tended to the wounded, restored ecosystems damaged by war, but the council chambers were empty, abandoned in the wake of fear and respect. No species dared speak of Earth's enslavement again. Humanity had drawn a line in the galaxy, one that no force could cross without paying a devastating price. Adam walked through the halls of Earth's rebuilt capitals, his thoughts heavy yet unburdened. We did not start this, he said to no one in particular. We merely reminded the universe that humans are not to be trifled with. Children played among the ruins of old cities, unaware of the cosmic war that had reshaped existence. Scientists continued their work, exploring new forms of energy, propulsion, and defense. Diplomats cautiously approached Earth, seeking trade and knowledge instead of submission. For the first time, humans held not only their home but also the respect of every species that had once sought to dominate them. The memory of betrayal lingered in the chambers of the Council, a lesson written in devastation. Every species had learned that endorsing control over humans was a fatal mistake. Generations would remember, and the universe itself would carry the consequences of underestimating the inhabitants of a pale blue planet. Humans did not gloat, nor did they seek revenge beyond what was necessary. Their fury was a statement, a promise that would echo through time. No species, no council, no empire could claim mastery over humanity. That lesson, etched in fire and iron, would not fade. In quiet moments, Adam reflected on what had been lost and what had been saved. Civilizations had fallen, yet the principle of freedom remained intact. Humanity's wrath had erased many, yet it had preserved more than anyone could have imagined. The galaxy had been reminded that survival was not enough. Resilience, intelligence, and unity defined a species. And so, Earth stood. No council could sway it. No fleet could threaten it. Humanity had faced the weight of the universe's judgment and emerged not only unbroken, but supreme in ways that words could scarcely capture. The stars themselves seemed to acknowledge it, as if the void had bent its vastness to recognize the fury and resolve of a species that would never again kneel. For the first time, humans looked at the universe not as subjects of fate, but as masters of their own destiny, and every species that had once endorsed their enslavement understood, with a clarity born of fear, that some mistakes could never be forgiven and some powers could never be challenged. The Council's chambers remained empty, echoing with lessons that could not be ignored. And Earth, resilient, unyielding, and fierce, continued to shine, a testament to the fury and the Po.